What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Mock Draft Monday. We've got Mock Draft 4.0 today, and this is going to be the first two-round mock draft here. And this is, per usual, going to be a what I would do mock draft, placing myself in the GM chair of all 32 teams, making the best decision for each team based on my own personal draft board. So excited for this one. Make sure you hit that like button as well. If you enjoy this video, if you enjoy my draft content, you will love my Patreon. That is patreon.com/ThatFranchiseGuy, where you will get exclusive draft content, things like film breakdowns, access to my comprehensive draft board with full analysis on every player in this class, and in the process, you will support the channel. So go check out the full TFG Draft Insider package on patreon.com/ThatFranchiseGuy. I appreciate you in advance. You will support this channel. It literally pays my rent and puts food in my belly. So I appreciate you in advance for checking out the exclusive content over there. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be very upfront here. The first 6 picks have not changed. I just love these fits, the value, the team needs, you name it. So just because this is a 64 pick mock draft, let's just keep the pace moving here. We got Trevor Lawrence, first overall, no surprise. Zach Wilson to the New York Jets. That is going to be my official decision for the Jets. We're going to send Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers for their second round pick. That's like the 37th pick or something like that. Then we got Penei Sewell to the Miami Dolphins, upgrading that whole offensive line with one swift pick where you will slide Robert Hunt into guard and honestly have a very serviceable offensive line with a potential superstar there with Sewell. Then we got Justin Fields at number 4. Great place to sit and develop that high upside pick where he can really learn the NFL game coming from that weird Ohio State offense in a system that really fits his skill set well. So I love that fit for Fields at 4. And then Cincinnati reuniting Jamar Chase with his college quarterback Joe Burrow, giving Cincinnati one of the top receiving corps in the entire NFL. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, who have since traded away Carson Wentz. I am going to stick with Devontae Smith. Now, this one is a lot harder. You could certainly go back to the North Dakota State well and draft Trey Lance, but give Hurts a true number 1 receiver like Devontae Smith. Really the same things we were talking about with Wentz. Get that full season of evaluation in there for Hurts. And hey, if he's not any good, you've probably got an extra first-round pick next year from the Colts. I think that is what's going to end up happening there. And you're probably not going to be any good. So you can package those picks to really go and get one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks next year as well. So I still like Devontae Smith to the Eagles. Then the Detroit Lions at number 7, and they are the hardest team on this entire list to draft for because they're in such a unique spot. You know, whoever comes here is going to be kind of bummed out for the most part. Like, Detroit knows they're not going to win right away. They've got kind of a lackluster quarterback in Jared Goff, a new coach that's this kind of rah guy. It's going to take a specific type of player to want to play here for Detroit. And the guy that I have in mind, I don't think you need to take at 7 here. So I am going to shop this pick. Trey Lance still on the board, and if someone wants to come get him, I'm going to collect any draft capital I can because we need a lot of good players here for Detroit. And the team that I am dancing with here is the Denver Broncos, making a move this time and going to come up and grab Trey Lance. And it only costs you their 3rd round pick here, which is not a small price, but it's well worth it considering this offense is a quarterback away from being a top 10 unit. You have, in my opinion, a good coordinator in Shermer. You have an offensive line that you've invested in. This receiving group is amazing, but that quarterback spot is the ultimate eyesore. It might be the biggest eyesore of any spot in the league, seeing what this offense could be with functional quarterback play. And Trey Lance, let's just put it this way, competition breeds excellence. Whether it's Drew Lock pushing Trey Lance or Trey Lance pushing Drew Lock, I don't really care. My goal here is we need a quarterback for Denver. Yeah, you'd also need a corner, but there's other ways to explore that when that quarterback is such a big need. So we're going to move up, grab Trey Lance. It's an interesting spot. You know, he can sit and develop for the first half of the season. He can sit and develop for the whole first year if Drew Lock does get a fire lit under his ass here with Trey Lance. But I have really woken up on this move for Denver. Just come up a couple spots, make sure you're the team that gets him, make sure it's not, I don't know, a San Francisco or even Minnesota, New England, you know, those teams that could be moving up here for Trey Lance. Give up that 3rd round pick. Make sure it's you that gets the player, and you've got a good situation for him to succeed. Then the Carolina Panthers, who acquired Sam Darnold, which, by the way, this is such a dream spot for Sam Darnold. You got a great young offensive coordinator there in Joe Brady. You have an excellent group of receivers, especially after this draft pick where we're going to take Kyle Pitts, which is just amazing. and a situation where he can sit and learn under Teddy Bridgewater. So you add Sam Darnold and Kyle Pitts with your 2 first-round picks like that, or your 2 picks in the top 50 or whatever. Incredible landing spot. I love this for the Panthers, and I would be super excited for the future of that team that I've personally talked about how much I like the direction they're going, and I think Sam Darnold has a really good chance to finally reach that upside in this situation. So I really hope this happens selfishly, because it would be really cool to see. Then the Detroit Lions, where we traded down. I talked about needing a specific type of mindset, a physical player, and we're going to grab Rashawn Slater. I think if you are the Detroit Lions and you can walk out of this class saying, we became a physical, blue-collar football team. We got a bunch of players with upside at valuable positions that want to be here and can buy into this kneecap-biting mentality. That is Rashawn Slater in a nutshell. I think he could start at right tackle for you. He could start at either guard spot. You've got some flexibility there. Just a great pick to help solidify what has potential with now a much more physical mentality shifted coaching staff that will teach these guys how to block. You could at least walk out of this season with one of the top offensive lines in the league, which would be a huge step forward for Detroit because they got the talent. They just got to reach that cohesion as a unit. Then the Dallas Cowboys, pretty straightforward. Patrick Surtain falling into their lap here is my number 1 corner. Stellar scheme fit with Dan Quinn coming in. He is your Richard Sherman in that Seattle 3 defense. Just slam dunk pick there for Dallas. Then the New York Giants, another slam dunk pick. We're going to grab Jalen Waddle, who will be a deep threat, but also add some run after the catch explosiveness. Daniel Jones, underrated as a deep ball thrower, so you put in Waddle. I think Ingram is going to be back there, and then you got Slayton, your other outside guy, more of your slot guy in Shepard, and obviously Saquon Barkley coming back. Daniel Jones isn't the best, but if you give him that unit in front of him, hopefully the offensive line grows. You can have a very serviceable offense, and that defense showed some nice things last year. So Jalen Waddle to the Giants would be just perfect for them. Same with the Niners here. Christian Darrisaw. That's been the pick from the start, really. I mean, the athleticism, I don't think they can pay Trent Williams. He's going to be too expensive. He gives you a instant replacement, a similar player, similar athlete and size, all that stuff. He'd be a great scheme fit. And then the Chargers at 13, they're in a good spot to trade down, but when I look at the next team picking, the Minnesota Vikings, when I really thought about this, I would be afraid of them taking Samuel Cosmi, who's going to be the pick here. That left tackle spot, such an eyesore for the Chargers. Even Brian Bulaga at right tackle, you can't really lean on his health. So we're going to grab a surefire pass protector, which is really what this team needs. I don't love Cosmi's, I've now said Cosmi and Cosmi, but I don't love his run blocking so much, but that pass protection for him is incredible. And let's just grab it here, even if it's a little bit earlier than I'd like. They are ready to win, but they need that tackle spot to get locked up. So I really like that pick. And then with the 14th pick, the Vikings here, they to me are the biggest trade down candidate in the top 20 here. They don't have a lot of cap space. Their biggest need is offensive guard. I'm certainly not taking that here at 14, especially in this class where there's some depth later, but not right here is the right pick. They're a team that loves to accrue picks. They had 15 picks in last year's class. They don't have a second round pick. So I think trading down here makes all the sense in the world for Minnesota. And the partner that I'm going to trade down here is just a few spots with the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's because I keep falling more in love with this fit of Gregory Rousseau to the Raiders. There's such a long list of why this has to be my guy for the Raiders. They have spent so much time being safe in the first round, right? And Rousseau is not a safe pick. I understand why people aren't crazy about him, but Rousseau, his freshman tape was what it was. It was freshman tape for a very raw, physical freak of a player. And people watch his tape and they say, oh, he doesn't have a ton of pass rush moves, he doesn't have a true position and all this stuff. And I get it. He is a projection. You are hoping that he shows what you wanted to see in his sophomore season because of COVID. But that is exactly why this is the boomer bust pick that the Raiders need. If he came out and played this year, I do believe that he would have shown those pass rushing skill sets that you look for. He is insanely strong at 6'7". He has a little bend, some get off. He will play with leverage, which is important given that he's 6'7". I really do believe that if he played last year for Miami, there is a very solid chance that he would have cemented himself as the best defensive player in this class and a top 5 pick. This is also the position of need for the Raiders. Yes, you've got Furl, you've got Crosby. Those are number 2 guys, maybe even number 3 guys depending how critical you want to be. Gregory Rousseau has a chance to be that alpha. He can also step inside and give you some interior pass rush as well, which means you don't have to take Farrell and Crosby off the field. There is just such a long list of reasons why this makes sense for the Raiders. You give up that third-round pick. They have depth. They don't need every pick in this class. They need to hit a home run in the first round and increase that pass rush, and Gregory Rousseau is the guy more than anyone in this class. So I really like this fit for the Raiders. I hope that I sold you on it, Raiders fans, because I know there's people that don't love Rousseau, but man, I was willing to move up and secure that pick. So then we got New England grabbing Mac Jones at 15. I've had this pick for a while now. He lands in their lap here. They don't have to move up for him. Not trading up in this draft as well, because I didn't realize they had to forfeit their third-round pick because of the Cincinnati Spygate 2 or whatever you want to call it. But Mac Jones, perfect fit here. I've talked about this in the past. I'm going to keep moving. Arizona at 16, not trading up and getting Jalen Waddle, which is still something I would love here, but we're going to grab Caleb Farley. This is smack dab where he should go, top 16 player. There was reports that he ran a 4.2, 4.40. I'm not quite buying that, but I do think he has 4.3 speed somewhere in there. They just signed J.J. Watts. You get him. You get a number one corner out there. Man, this defense continuing to add talent for a unit that could be just sneaky good next year. So I love that. Really kind of a steal for Arizona, or just a great landing spot, if you will. Then Minnesota, where we traded down. I'm actually going to do it again. I'm going to trade down, just like the Seahawks did last year, accrue a bunch of picks, and maybe even use those as resources in the future to maybe go get a quarterback. So we're actually going to trade down because there is a big name prospect still sitting there as Micah Parsons. You can get, I think, somebody to come out of the 20s, move up, give you a good pick in the future. You add a fourth-round pick here from Cleveland. And again, Minnesota, targeting a guard, you can get one of the guys you like at 26. So I just love this move for Minnesota to kind of get crafty with the draft, as they've done year after year after year. And it's Cleveland coming up here, giving up their second-round pick next year, which they're hoping is a bottom, outside of the top 50. They hope they're a playoff team, and their fourth-round pick this year. And we're going to grab Micah Parsons. The opportunity to go and get him for Cleveland after he starts to fall here. This is like Derwin James-esque kind of stuff when he fell to the Chargers. Just kind of the way the board fell. Huge need for Cleveland. He would set the tone mentally. Great fit there. It's pretty self-explanatory for Cleveland. And you don't even give up like a massive pick this year. Then Miami getting Rashad Bateman, running a good 40 time at his Exos Combine. We've been mocking this the whole time. I don't even know if he's going to be there at 18 at this point with the way his stock is falling. He's starting to look more and more and more like Justin Jefferson, because of the physical comparison, size, speed, quickness, you name it, but his play style as well. He really could be that fourth receiver in this class that just gets put down a little bit because there's other really good players, and he comes in and is stunningly good. So I love the Rashad Bateman pick. I'm glad I've been mocking this all the way along, because I think people that weren't as high on Bateman are as time goes on, raising him up and up the draft board. Then the Washington football team, I'm back in on Rondale Moore. I was a little scared by the injury stuff. I kind of, as I was discovering new players, I think maybe some of that recency bias maybe pushed him down a little bit more, but I would have to update my wide receiver rankings, because I think I had him 9th when I made that video a few weeks ago. He's now back to number 5, ahead of Kadarius Toney. The just pictures of his workout wherever he was, where he is just built and jacked, and this guy's impossible to bring down. For the Washington football team, you've got Terry McLaurin as your route runner, your deep threat. Rondale Moore is your playmaker type. I can't endorse this pick even more. I prefer Rondale Moore to Kadarius Toney. It's just a matter of preference, but both those guys are very similar types of players. Then we got the Chicago Bears. I'm going to look to trade down here again. They're in a weird spot. You're not getting a quarterback here. But it's just a little bit early to take anyone that they kind of need, so I'm just shopping the pick, see if anyone wants it. And the team that I was willing to move up with is actually the New York Jets, who have just almost an infinite number of picks in this draft. We're going to come up and get the player that I would hate to miss out on with the 23rd pick. It only costs you that 4th round pick. It's their first pick in the 4th round. So it's a decent pick, but they have so many picks. They'll live without it. The guy that I need to get here is Tevin Jenkins. This guy's a complete mauler. I compare him to Mike McGlinchey. He is going to be the perfect fit in the 49ers system that they're going to run here. He's going to pave the way in the run game. He's a solid, strong pass protector as well. He's an excellent fit in this scheme, and I would hate to not get him at 23. The other thing is he is a right tackle, right? You got Becton at left tackle. Jenkins is a right tackle. you can flip guys around, but it doesn't always work as you would hope. So get your right tackle. He's the best tackle left on the board, and I would hate to miss out on Jenkins, and I'm willing to part with that pick if it means I can go get him ahead of some teams here like Indy and Tennessee that do actually need tackles. So Indy's going to grab J.C. Horn. We've been doing this pick a lot. This pick's solid. It fits a need. Xavier Rhodes a free agent. He's kind of that plug into that system. They have some depth there, but not really a left tackle here I'm comfortable in. So maybe look to trade down, but just go best player available here for Indianapolis. I think they're going to really like him. Just kind of his athleticism, his length fits that scheme really well and gives them a long-term cheap answer at corner, and I think he would really thrive there. Then we got Kwity Paye here, finally making his way into the first round. I encourage you to go check out my edge rush video from last Friday. You can really see me dive into Kwity Paye more in depth. But for Tennessee in this 3-4 system, again, in that video, I talked about a lot of the reasons why Kwity Paye would just crush it. Actually, as a 3-4 outside linebacker. So him and Harold Landry would be an excellent combo and boost the ceiling of this pass rush, especially with Jeffrey Simmons on the inside there. Starting to get a lot more nasty as a pass rush because Clowney just didn't give that to you last year. Then you got the Chicago Bears where we traded down. I'm going to take Creed Humphrey. Bears fans weren't crazy about this, but I just don't really know what you do. I don't think adding a receiver for whoever your quarterback's going to be changes the game all that much. And I don't love either Daniels or Whitehead at center. I know that they like the Notre Dame kid, but do you really want to count on a undrafted free agent that stepped in and played okay for 5 games? I don't. I mean, the tackle duos are older, but the tackle talent at this spot just isn't worth this pick. So take Creed Humphrey, who to me is a true first-round talent. You got your guards there, and you have a dominant interior offensive line. And you got some veteran tackles there. Get that offensive line back to a quality unit. Run the ball better. Maybe you can be that team that has an Andy Dalton at quarterback, runs the ball well, is physically minded, keeps the defense more fresh, and that defense wakes back up. I don't know. The Bears are a really tough spot, so that's the route we're going to go. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers at 24, Najee Harris. Same exact kind of mentality here with the Bears. They're in a tough spot. You're not drafting a quarterback here. Just hope that you can get a much better run game, play better defense, and limit the responsibility of your quarterback. So Najee Harris would instantly skyrocket that upside for that run game. Then we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I still love the Pat Freiermuth pick. They even hired the freaking tight ends coach from Penn State. This just makes too much sense. He can develop with Trevor Lawrence. They've got receivers on the outside. The tackle quality here is not worth this pick. So grab Pat Freiermuth. Maybe needs a little bit more development, but you're not expecting like Super Bowl in year 1 here with Trevor Lawrence anyway. So then we get Minnesota at 26. We've been hinting at this. We're going to grab Wyatt Davis. He's actually not my number 1 guard, but my number 1 guard is very injury prone, and the Vikings really don't want to deal with that. They would rather get a more surefire guy that you know is going to be healthy for them. That's Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. Really good athlete as well. I think he fits that outside zone scheme really well. So we're going to grab Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. Then the Baltimore Ravens at number 27. I'm not fully in on drafting a receiver here unless you're getting a Jamar Chase or a Smith or a Jalen Waddle. I don't know if you're going to get a massive upgrade. And I also think they could go that route in free agency. With Creed Humphrey gone here, the guards, the value just isn't all that great here to pick for the Ravens for what they need. We're going to look to trade down. It's going to be with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also have just a buttload of picks here. So they're going to move down, 6 spots to the first pick in the second round, where you're still going to be able to get who we're going to want. And then the Jaguars are going to grab Liam Eichenberg, upgrade that tackle position, because you got a couple question marks there at tackle. I think Cam Robinson might even be an impending free agent. So Eichenberg is just a great pick for the Jags. Plug him in at left tackle. I love that. Then the New Orleans Saints, tough team to draft for. What's their sort of window? I'm just taking best player available, and that's Jeremiah Aruso Karamoa. Pretty simply put, you replace their Quan Alexander, who they're not going to be able to afford, although the cap doesn't exist in New Orleans. But yeah, grab JOK there and solidify that defense. Then Green Bay Packers, same pick here, Asante Samuel. I love the depth at receiver in this class, but with Kevin King on the way out, the new system that they're going to run, Asante Samuel can be the Darius Williams in this sort of LA Rams of 2020 defense with a lot of cover 4, match zone coverage. That is Asante Samuel in a nutshell. Super smart, super quick. Love that pairing. That's just such great value for Green Bay. I'm a huge Asante Samuel fan. Christian Barmore to the Buffalo Bills. They need some more size and power from the inside. Ed Oliver not quite working out there. I do think they could pick up K'Wan Short. So you go Short, Barmore, the edge guys, maybe find one later. I don't know. But the pick here is Christian Barmore. Pretty straightforward there. Then Kansas City Chiefs, Dylan Radunes. You got Eric Fisher at left tackle, is coming off an Achilles injury on the last year of his contract. I think they're probably going to cut him to clear some cap space, which is going to clear a gaping need at left tackle there. And even then, Mitchell Schwartz is getting up there in age at right tackle. So Dylan Radunes fits the mold there as just a technician of a pass protector. Was really impressed by him at the Senior Bowl, securing that offensive line for the Chiefs. Then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with all these tackles going, I think you maybe do stay with what's his name at left tackle for them, who they're considering cutting. But Travis Etienne is the pick here. Just think that getting that receiving back for Tom Brady and a running back that can really, when Ronald Jones is on the field, he's just not a threat as a receiver. So he's a little bit one-dimensional. Etienne is basically Ronald Jones if he was also Alvin Kamara as a receiver. So I love the pick for Tampa Bay. You get a cheap running back for a team that doesn't have a ton of cap space. Just a hell of a fit there. All right, into the second round. So we got Baltimore where they traded down. We're going to grab one of those guards, Elijah Vera Tucker, plug and play, answer at right guard. Again, not my next best available guard, but a team that's ready to win right now, maybe not going to gamble on a Trey Smith, who is my number one guard, but you do have questions about kind of injuries and red flags there. So we're going to grab Elijah Vera Tucker, plug him in at right guard. And then we got Tylan Wallace here to the New York Jets. I love this fit. We've upgraded the offensive line. We got Zach Wilson. Wallace is a guy that is going to thrive with accurate deep ball placement and timing routes, things like comebacks, hitches. He is the ultimate number 2 receiver for the Jets. You hope Mims can develop into the number 1. You got Crowder in the middle there. Excellent value. Great fit there for the Jets. Tylan Wallace. Then the Atlanta Falcons going to grab Trayvon Merrick, first safety off the board here. You got Keanu Neal and Ricardo Allen likely on the way out here. You took that quarterback earlier, but we got to patch up this secondary here. Trayvon Merrick is going to be the pick, number 1 safety in this class. Really nice, athletic, do-it-all safety. Then we got Kadarius Toney to the Miami Dolphins. This keeps getting better for the Dolphins. Fix the offensive line a little bit. We grabbed Bateman to be your kind of do-it-all receiver, and then Kadarius Toney is going to be your gimmick slot manufactured touches guy. The explosiveness, the influx of talent here. If Tua can't figure it out this year with this group, well, you know that it's time to move on because the excuses would be out the door. Pretty similar to what we've seen with like Denver. Just give him all the help he can get and get that evaluation secured. Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles grabbing Zaven Collins with a little bit of a fall here. He's actually my number 2 linebacker here. We didn't take him for New Orleans because they do have Demario Davis there, who's a very similar player to Zaven Collins. So getting a little more speed there for New Orleans. Whereas Philly getting more of that leadership, that zone coverage, kind of like the old Nigel Bradham that used to have a really smart cover linebacker. Great pick for the Eagles to patch up that defense. Then we got the Cincinnati Bengals, been waiting for an offensive lineman. Well, here you go, Jalen Mayfield, comfortable at right tackle there. You get Jonah Williams at left tackle. Mayfield could also play guard if they were to sign a tackle. It gives you some of that flexibility. I actually really like him at guard. Tackle, I'm not as sure. But in this system, he's a mauler. He's kind of like a poor man's the Tevin Jenkins, who we took for the Jets. So I like the scheme fit. The need is totally there. I like the flexibility. Pretty easy pick. Then the Jets up again. This was the Sam Darnold pick. This is where we're going to take a little bit more of a risk. This is more house money because you're getting this pick for free from Sam Darnold. And this is where I'm going to take Trey Smith. If he can stay healthy, he's the best guard in this class, in my opinion. Super athletic. You've now upgraded at right tackle and then either left guard or right guard. Doesn't really matter. Trey Smith would be a hell of a pick if he can stay healthy. Then the Denver Broncos. You're going to get a damn good corner here in the second round after you traded up for Trey Lance, so your defense is going to be able to hang in there, and it's going to be Greg Newsome out of Northwestern. I haven't completed my evaluation on him, but super long and quick and should be comfortable and is totally a Vic Fangio type of guy. I don't think the difference between Greg Newsome and Caleb Farley is massive, especially in this system where they have similar traits. Then Detroit up again. I really wanted to move down here, but it was tough. And I found a player that it just resonated with me. And I don't know if Lions fans are going to like this or not, but I honestly love the absolute crap out of this draft for the Detroit Lions. And it's Quinn Miners out of UW Whitewater. I don't love the right side of the line, whether it's right tackle or right guard. Haloti Vaitai was an old regime's bust of a free agent signing. I don't think they give a crap what happens with Vaitai. If he works out, then great. But you want to talk about guys that are going to buy in here and help you have a true strength for the Lions. When was the last time the Lions had an actual freaking strength on their team? Well, this offensive line, from left tackle to right tackle now, would be incredible. And you're getting tough dudes that are going to buy into this culture. Quinn Miners, you think he's going to mind coming into Detroit as a UW Whitewater blue chip, like, blue collar, like, chip on your shoulder type of dude? No, he's going to love this fit. I think he would play guard here because I love the center there with Ragnow. He played guard in college, so my God, I'm glowing about this pick. I would love this draft for Detroit. I would even be cheering for them. Lions fans might not like doubling up on offensive line, but I really think they're in such a weird spot that if you can just establish, frankly, potentially the best offensive line in the NFL, if you hit on both these picks, which I think they would, I mean, you're walking out of this year pretty damn happy. So I love that pick for Detroit. Then the Giants kind of walking into Azeez Ojulari, who they might even be considering at pick 11, kind of similar to when the Titans got Harold Landry years ago. Just kind of ends up working out for them. But a hell of a fit in that hybrid edge outside linebacker system. So I love that pick. Then the Niners, we're going to grab Paulson Adebo, local kid out of Stanford, lengthy corner, has a chance to be a Richard Sherman. I don't think he's physical enough, but to be a true Richard Sherman comp, but does definitely fit the scheme, and corner is going to be a need there. Then the Dallas Cowboys grabbing Richie Grant, safety out of UCF. So patching up that secondary in the best way possible. Two unbelievable scheme fits. Richie Grant is that rangy free safety. He is the rangiest, call it Earl Thomas role in this class. You get your ET, you get your Richard Sherman for this Dan Quinn defense. I mean, my God, it can't fall out much better for the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, who really don't need anything else other than secondary. Then the Jacksonville Jaguars going to grab Terrace Marshall, now a receiver, doubling up on LSU guys with DJ Chark on the other side, Terrace Marshall. So you have two young receivers who are going to develop here with Trevor Lawrence. Love that fit. Excellent value. Then the New England Patriots. This was really difficult. You took Mac Jones earlier. You know you need weapons. I think they're a team that is going to land a Juju, and Allen Robinson, a Corey Davis or something like that, a true perimeter player, but they need that sharp, quick separation ability. They don't pick in the third round. I didn't find a true trade down partner here. We're going to grab Jalen Darden out of North Texas. I love this player. Uber quick, just elite kind of juice and ability to make guys miss. So I just love the way he fits in this team. Edelman may or may not be around here for much longer, so I love that. And then this next fit, I know I've said this a lot, but this is definitely one of my favorite fits in this entire list. And I'm going to be doing, by the way, a top 10 best fits video of just prospects that make too much sense for certain teams, and this is definitely going to be on that list, so spoiler alert, but it's Osa Odigizua to the Chargers. Simply put, teams have been trying to recreate Aaron Donald for a long time, and it hasn't worked out, like Ed Oliver, Solomon Thomas. Well, this way it's in the second round, so you don't have those expectations, not in the top 10, and you're getting the coach that just dominated with Aaron Donald and Brandon Staley. So in this new system, Brandon Staley is going to know exactly where to put him to get the most out of Osa Odigizua, who is a much better run defender than Thomas and Oliver ever were. He is super tough and disciplined against the run, but he has some of those same athletic traits that Aaron Donald has. So he's not going to be Aaron Donald, you know that, but used in that same role in this defense with all these different pieces they have, I am just drooling about this fit for the Chargers, this huge need as well. And then the Raiders here are going to grab another defensive lineman. So all of a sudden that defensive line, you're looking at it as a potential strength. We're going to grab Levi Onwuzurike. He's not a true number one, but he's a 3 tech. He can come in there and do a little bit of everything, run defense, pass rush. Now with some talent around him, that's a great just value pick for the Raiders. Then the Arizona Cardinals. What a draft again here. Seth Williams, big-bodied, speedy receiver out of Auburn. This is the DK Metcalf to Russell Wilson pairing. Kyler Murray's not great over the middle of the field. I would actually say he's very poor throwing the ball out over the middle of the field. But outside the numbers, on the deep ball, he is elite. He throws one of the best deep balls in the league. And you put him with Seth Williams, who is just a go ball specialist. I mean, it's a perfect pairing. You then have Kirk and Andy Isabella to kind of work underneath. Hopkins, your true number one, and Seth Williams on the outside. Oh, man. After getting Watt and Farley in the first, man, what a draft for the Cardinals, who have Super Bowl expectations next year, frankly. Then the Miami Dolphins going to grab Javonte Williams. You've loaded up on everything else. You've gotten receiver, offensive line. Now you get a studly running back in Javonte Williams. Love this pick. Pretty self-explanatory. True 3-down, do-it-all back. Then the Washington football team going to grab Walker Little. This is a great spot for Walker Little, who has been really plagued by injuries throughout his career, but super high upside at left tackle. About 2 years ago, was viewed as a future top 10 pick. Just with the opt-out, the injuries, couldn't really put it all together on the field. I think his best football is well ahead of him. Now, there's a chance that it just doesn't all work out here for Walker Little, but with the football team where they have a Cornelius Lucas at left tackle, he doesn't have to start right away. And frankly, if Walker Little busts, it's a second-round pick. It's not the end of the world. So definitely a boomer bust type of prospect with Walker Little, but definitely worth the risk for Washington, who has secured some playmaking and now long-term answer at left tackle potentially. The Chicago Bears, another fit that I love, Ronnie Perkins. Again, go check out that edge rush video to see what I think about Ronnie Perkins, but in a situation where he can sit behind Mack and Robert Quinn, get that combination of finesse coaching from Robert Quinn, that power coaching from Khalil Mack, another guy that's a candidate for my top 10 best fits video, Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma for the Bears. And now after going Oklahoma with the first 2 picks for the Bears here, you might be able to even make an appeal to Lincoln Riley to be your head coach next year after you almost inevitably let Matt Nagy go. Then we got the Tennessee Titans, Brevin Jordan. My comp for him is Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith probably on the way out. If he's coming back, it's probably on the franchise tag. They love these shorter, speedy tight ends in this system. So perfect fit for the Titans. Another great fit. Indianapolis Colts. At this point, you're probably saying you're signing a left tackle in free agency. Maybe they could make a push for Trent Williams, which would be amazing. But we're going to grab Tutu Atwell, who's going to learn how to be a 5'9" speedster from maybe bringing T.Y. Hilton back, if not this coaching staff familiar with how to utilize a Tutu Atwell. So you get some speed on the outside to pair with the other weapons there. And Carson Wentz maybe can unlock that deep ball. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers, almost lucking into Landon Dickerson here, who is probably a top 50 player in this class. Some health issues there, but that's nothing the Steelers are afraid of. They just went through a decade of Pouncey. So Landon Dickerson is just a mauler. He's going to be paving the way for the same guy that he did at Alabama. What a fit here for the Steelers. This would be the perfect draft for the Steelers, who I think just getting that top-end run game back in their case is actually a big deal for them. Then the Seattle Seahawks grabbing Jalen Phillips. Super high upside edge rush. They need that at that position, but he is a health risk. But if he stays healthy, they're basically getting another first-round pick by taking a risk here because they didn't have a first-round pick from the Adams trade. Then Jason Owe, super high upside pick here for the Rams. Do exactly what Leonard Floyd did and just get schemed up some sacks and can develop, getting benefited from single teams that are created by Aaron Donald being on your defense. So I love that fit with Jason Owe, late second round, get some upside at edge that they've been lacking. Then Baltimore Ravens, Cam Sample. I called my shot in that edge video a few days ago. Go check that out, Ravens fans. Go check out Cam Sample's tape. He is the prototype Ravens edge. This is definitely going to be on my top fits list. Then the Cleveland Browns. A tough spot to pick here, but I'm going to grab Joe Tryon. I'm not crazy about him, but he is actually very similar to Olivier Vernon. He is just fast and explosive. He's got room to grow for sure after opting out of last season. Vernon probably not going to be back here. If he is, it's going to be on like a short-term, non-long-term contract. So good, value and need for the Browns after slam dunking, getting Micah Parsons in the first. Then the Saints going to grab Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he's going to learn from Emmanuel Sanders there for a year or two, who is just, a great comp in a lot of ways for Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's kind of this do-it-all, shorter receiver, basically. So I like that fit. It's great value for the Saints. How many times in this video have I said I like that fit? Then the Buffalo Bills, grabbing Nick Bolton. I'm not sure if Matt Milano will be back, but Nick Bolton gives you that outside linebacker there. If they did bring Milano back, that's probably not the pick there, but the value's too much to pass up on for Bolton, who at this point would be in need if Milano is not back. Who's going to be one of the top free agents in this class. Then Green Bay gets their receiver, Dyami Brown. Vertical speed. If you wanted a Robbie Anderson, you wanted a Will Fuller, that is Dyami Brown. I'm not sure what he's going to run, but he is just so athletic, so quick, great release off the line of scrimmage. He is the ideal number 2 receiver for this offense. Then the Kansas City Chiefs grabbing Carlos Basham. Okafor is not back. Frank Clark not long for that team, but he will be back because of that cap hit. But Basham gives you some edge rush presence, some interior rush presence, beef up that defensive line that really outside of, of Chris Jones and I guess Frank Clark, you just don't have a lot of depth and talent there. So I love Basham, great scheme fit. Will help you defend the run on early downs as well. And then the final pick here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers grabbing Jackson Carman, who could either start at left tackle, depending what they do with Smith there, but he could also start at right guard. They had some problems there. Just gives you some of that depth and youth, and it's a cheap piece for Tampa Bay. I do think that tackle guard kind of 6th-man spot is a great spot for Jackson Carman, who is definitely raw. I don't love his quickness as a pass protector, but Donovan Smith, not the quickest guy either. So I could definitely see him being just a cheaper replacement to Donovan Smith. But again, we don't really know what exactly is going to play out there with the Bucs situation and what their needs are at this point in time. So that pick could be up in the air in the future, but that's where we're going for now. All right, that was fun. 64 picks. Please do hit that like button, guys. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any more mock drafts and all of the content here. If you enjoy my draft analysis, do check out my Patreon where you can get the TFG Draft Insider package and support the channel in the process. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.